In 1840, one man transformed travel in Britain. His name was George Bradshaw, and his railway guides inspired the Victorians to take to the tracks. Stop by stop, he told them where to travel, what to see, and where to stay. Now 180 years later, I'm making a series of journeys across the length and breadth of the country to see what of Bradshaw's Britain remains. We're at Tunbridge Wells West. Down there's Tunbridge Wells. This is a heritage railway. And Tunbridge Wells West and Tunbridge Wells are like 10 minutes away from each other. They're not connected by a railway. Our goal is to get between these two stations while only using trains. You know what that means? It's time for a pointless journey, and our train is quite literally pulling in right now, so I'm gonna go and eat something. Our journey starts at Tunbridge Wells West, where we take the Spa Valley Railway down to Oxted. From Oxted we take the southern train to East Croydon. From East Croydon we make our way to the Croydon tram station, located directly outside of the main concourse to board a tram towards Beckenham Junction, where we board a southeastern service to Orpington. From Orpington we take yet another southeastern service to Sevenoaks. From Sevenoaks we take yet another southeastern service to Ashford International, where we board the high-speed one to Ebbsfleet International. From here we switch over to Northfleet, the commuter station directly next to Ebbsfleet, the high-speed station. From Northfleet we take a train to London Bridge, where we get the final train of the day to Tunbridge Wells. Now, it's quite funny, because today Croydon is an absolute shithole. No one likes Croydon, no one would willingly go to Croydon. Croydon is just one of the worst places you could end up. But Bradshaw says that the town of Croydon derives its name from Croydune, or chalk hill, from which the latter term we obtain our English word downs, as in signifying an extensive range of hills. It is situated in the midst of a beautiful country, and is the place of considerable antiquity. It consists of one principal street more than a mile in length, and a number of smaller ones. The church is a noble building, and has a lofty square tower adorned with pinnacles. A mile and a half from the town is Addiscombe, at which there is a college for the education of military students. In the vicinity, likewise, is Addington Park, the present residence of the Archbishops, in a very retired and rural neighbourhood. So the Bradshaw's entry for Sevenoaks is so absolutely minuscule, I can read it in like 10 seconds. So I'm going to try and drag this out as long as I can. There is nothing for me to say. Anyway, so Bradshaw says Sevenoaks is a town of some importance, deriving its name from that of its founder, Sir W. Sevenoak. That's it. Real interesting place, innit? Right, so there really isn't anything on Ashford, just like there was on Sevenoaks. Like, there's a tiny bit more, but still basically nothing. Bradshaw's really didn't like Kent. I mean, who would like Kent? But Bradshaw really didn't like Kent. Anyway, so, he says that Ashford was a quiet agricultural town in East Kent, until the South Eastern Railway Company made it their chief station for their works, since which the population has greatly increased. That's it. That's it. Right, so I know most of this episode has been a let's shit on Kent episode, which it deserves. Kent is the toilet of England. But out of all the places we visited today, Northfleet is the last place I expected Bradshaw to have a note on. Not Sevenoaks, Northfleet. Anyway, Bradshaw says on the London side of Northfleet, on the left of our line, may be seen a beautiful asylum for decayed merchants, founded by the philanthropic merchant Mr. Huggins, still living and well known out of the London Corn Exchange. Northfleet has an ancient church, one of the largest in Kent, containing several monuments of interesting antiquity, among which will be found to Dr. Brown, the physician to Charles II, and some curious brasses of the 14th century, the extensive excavations around here forming a sort of miniature Switzerland, not only give the scenery a wild and romantic aspect, but furnish with valuable materials for their potteries. You know, like, we just got to Northfleet. You know, it's a hell of a walk. You like have to go round and then up, and it's a really good walk. Love the walk, but this is one of the most deprived stations I think I've ever seen. There is no ticket machines, no barriers, no dot matrix displays, 2 platforms. No shelter on platform 1 apart from this thing. One camera, 2 cameras, and 1 banner repeater up there. This is like one of the most deprived stations I've ever seen. And, you know, it's kind of embarrassing given the fact that it's right next to Ebbsfleet International. Like, you can see Ebbsfleet from here. You'd expect they'd at least have dot matrix displays. in order to tell you when your train's gonna come, but apparently they don't. So I'm gonna go buy some cheese. Guess what? For once, there is something in Kent that isn't only 3 lines of text or less. Let's all have 3 cheers for Tunbridge Wells! But in all seriousness, Bradshaw says this town is, with the exception of Bath, the most ancient of the inland watering places. Nature has eminently favoured it by the salubrity of the air, the potency of its mineral springs, and the adjacent dependencies of romantic and agreeable scenery. The town is built upon a sandy soil and is divided into 5 districts respectively. The town has been much modernised over the late years, the parade alone evincing any symptoms of antiquity. The houses are chiefly detached villas with lawns in front and large gardens in the rear. The drinking springs rise at the end of the parade, close to the post office, which has a row of trees on one side and a colonnade with shops on the other. The water is a strong chalympite and possesses great tonic power, but ought not to be taken without medical advice. A band plays 3 times a day in the parade in the season, from July until November. Time to review the journey as a whole. Overall, it was quite nice, albeit one of the weirder ones we had taken, especially in the route. Plus, with there not being much to commentate on due to most of the journey taking place in the toilet that is Kent, I'm quite thankful for this journey coming to an end. But, overall, trains were comfortable for the most part. Looking at you, Class 395. Oh, you think I didn't notice? Foolish train. Otherwise, trains were comfortable. Connections, however, were not made smoothly and led to one of the more unique outcomes to a pointless journey, as we discovered when we pulled into Tunbridge Wells that the last train back home had already left. So for us, the journey had just begun. That was definitely one of the nights of my life. Anyway, as I stated in the last episode, I've started a Patreon to help fund these episodes. Obviously, they do cost a lot to actually make. Buying tickets, buying supplies and food to go on these journeys does cost a lot, and any support would be greatly appreciated. Anyway, we're now pulling into Tunbridge Wells, so that's all from me today, and I bid you adieu.